Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today as we kick off another 5-day race week here in Hollandale Beach. Brian Adel, Samantha Perry, happy to have you aboard here on a 9-race Wednesday card. You can see it's absolutely beautiful out here, even a little brisk. I don't like to say that too loud with our friends up north, but unfortunately, if you saw us on Sunday, just the absolute monsoon of a storm pretty much all day, and it went into Monday, so we are going to start the week off the turf, unfortunately.
Yeah, we are. It was a lot of rain here. Couldn't even see for a little bit. So unfortunate, but the good news is there's not a lot of scratches on the card, even more so not in the grass races.
Yeah, so things held together pretty nicely, and hopefully we'll be back on the turf Thursday. It looks like it's going to be a nice week down here. Hope to see everybody out here. The Rainbow Six is building and building rapidly. Look at that carryover, almost $300,000, and when it gets that big, they really send it in. So we'll go with 425 today in that estimated pool.
Yeah, and it grows very quickly around here.
And Mr. Ron Nicoletti will have a ticket. He'll be back with us on Friday, but he's got a ticket updated, all that good stuff. But we kick off the racing week in the card with the early pick 5 here in the opener, already about $20,000 in that pool. They've been well over $250,000 on these weekdays. And let's take a look at my ticket now, and I'm going to put 15 into it here. I've just got a single right off the bat, 2 deep in race number 2 with the top pick, the 4 rolling on. Another single. I'm a sure thing in that off the turf. I'll remind everybody that goes to 1.5 miles, and Pete's upstairs, of course, with the scratches and the changes. In race number 4, 3 deep in that good maiden special weight race. Todd Pletcher's got a couple of them. Unlimited potential on the comeback trail. I do scratch into him. And in race number 5, my long shot's in there. Swaggish for Jamie Begg off the claim, stretching out, hopefully getting loose in there. $15 for me, and let's get to the opener now. We're 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. These are fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. We do have a scratch of the 7 uncaptured. Skeet is out of this race, and we both have the same exacta, and it just kind of looks like it's time for True Martini.
I hope so, because if it's not today, there will be many other chances, I'm sure, for this gal. But she's 5 years old now, 2 seconds in a row. Oof, come on. She's got to get it done.
Yeah, she's going to be a short number. We don't like that. Let's take a look at a stat for Jose Giangelo. I found this one here. When he comes in off a loss in the money on Tapeta in sprints, he's 27%. So that says maybe she's got a little move forward. You can see the 3rd start of her form cycle as well, and she's inching forward. So hopefully today is the day to get it done, because kind of as Samantha alluded to, if it's not today, I don't really know when it's going to be.
Yeah.
Aperol Spritz did well to draw outside of her, but the cutback here is going to be mighty quick and sharp for her, right?
Yeah, it is. But the good news is when you have Paco Lopez in your corner and he knows her, he knows what to get out of her early, and this might be a good thing to have.
Yeah, I mean, in Paco we trust, and he's outside the favorite, but we'll see if he can keep her close enough. That's going to be kind of the big question in the opener. Race number 2 kicks off the early pick 4. We're back on the Tapeta here as well. It's a state-bred optional claimer, 4-year-olds and up. But scratch the 7, Dangerous Ride. He was going to get back to the Tapeta, but will not play today. We'll take a look at Samantha's early pick 4 before we get into it.
Yeah, I've got my long shot in this spot. I'm taking every horse except one of them, which you can add the horse, but there's always one you can leave out. I felt like it's that one. I'm a sure thing. Now the race has moved to the Tapeta. I still think this filly looks all right here. Race number 4, I just have the 2 Todd Pletcher horses, and in race 5, just singling swath there for Marty Drexler, $5 ticket.
You did exactly the same thing in race 2 that I did in race 9 today. I left out one horse.
Yeah,
but,
hope that one doesn't beat us.
I know, but you don't deserve to win if they do beat you. That's kind of how I look at it.
I agree completely here.
And I don't think it does anybody any favors. I don't think it's good business or betting practice to give them all out when one of them is not really supposed to win. So I agree wholeheartedly with that. There's always 1 or 2 you can knock out. So let's get to it now. You said your long shot's in here. I'm interested to see who it is.
It's the same one I pick every single time.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's the 6 horse here. This horse is getting back to the Tapeta. The dirt try was not that great last time. To be honest, this horse has not been that great in some time. He was very good early, knocking heads of horses like New York Thunder, and he just has really tailed off on the grass. But Paco Lopez gets aboard now. This is a perfect draw for him. I've got to see something here. Otherwise, this horse needs to take an old drop. But we'll see today.
I hope you get 8-1. Well, you're not going to get 8-1 with the scratch,
No.
but I hope you get 5 or 6 because, it's been a while since he kind of ran.
Yeah.
But there is stuff to work with here, and like you said, Paco gets aboard. The two Rohan horses are clearly the two to beat. Now, you can argue that does one get in the way of the other, but I think rolling on, drawing outside the stablemate, the 2, with a whole heck of a lot of speed anyway, I think he's probably going to have to be caught.
Yeah, I think so, and we'll have to see how the Tapeta plays today.
Yeah.
Of course, it has been a little bit chillier, but the sun is beating down now, so you wonder if that speed will carry or not.
Yeah, and we're off the turf, but it's been very nice out of late. That's a result of what happened on Sunday into Monday.
Right.
I don't think this. My point is, I don't think this. We'll have to watch it, but I don't think it's going to be a scenario where the Tapeta's tight and fast and inside like we've talked about. It can be when it rains and the weather hits. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I feel like rolling on is the controlling speed in here. Heals the Soul. I poked him as a 2-1 favorite just because Irad is here with Rohan. But I think all things considered, fair betting, I think he's looking up at the 4.
Yeah, I think he is too, and what a cool horse, though, he is. He's 6 years old, and he's really just knocked it out of the park with these Tapeta races.
You know what I kind of came up with last night? That he's almost like the sprint version of Fly the W.
I would agree with that. And what's really cool is Heals the Soul is also 2 for 2 on the grass.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
And Rohan's done some good work with him. Not as classy as Fly the W.
No, but he shows up every time.
Absolutely. He wants to beat you. Now, race number 3, we would go to 1.5 miles on the Tapeta, off the turf today. This is a maiden special weight for the fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. This one held together nicely. There are no scratches at 1.5 miles in here. I left all these replays in that you found. Let's show it with I'm a Sure Thing and Versify, who ran last time. I'm a Sure Thing has Tapeta form as well.
Yeah, race 2 back, I'm a Sure Thing was on the Tapeta and actually ran very, very well behind a nice winner for trainer Bill Mott. This horse was closing very fast here. Just was never going to get to War Princess. But War Princess for Todd Pletcher, she's a nice Mandy Pope homebred.
Yeah.
So, but this horse ran very well. Now, Versify, on the other hand, she picked up a little ground. She was the 8th there, but she wasn't much. So my point of showing that is I'm a Sure Thing is who you want from that race.
Yeah, and they let War Princess just walk the dog that day. So the fact that I'm a Sure Thing was beating a neck was actually a pretty good effort.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll say with Versify, and I don't think she can win this race, she showed some signs of life, and that was off a layoff too, and a trainer switch as well. You saw Mandy Pope running 1-3 there. Clearly Dark Pool is the main rival, but I feel like she already showed she's not as good as I'm a Sure Thing.
Exactly. You look back at that race at Aqueduct, and it didn't do really. I mean, I get it was a 4th place finish, but it wasn't a good one by any means.
No, exactly. And we haven't seen her since, and she might need this as well. And she's spotting Tapeta experience to the favorite, too. Delahaye's a nice one for Chad Brown that I think you had as the best bet. Looked really good winning here earlier in the championship meet. So I still think, yes, it's a surface switch, but this is not one of those races where, anybody that was kind of waiting in the weeds. Maybe Digital Trade now moves up a little bit with the Tapeta, but I don't think she's a win threat.
No, and distance, that's also something that you worry about.
Yeah, 1.5 miles now, don't forget. So 3 down, 6 to go. When we come back after a short break, it's Rainbow Six time. $425 in the estimated jackpot, and Ron Nicoletti's got a ticket. Stay tuned.
And they're off.
new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
And welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you on a beautiful Wednesday here. Doing a little bookkeeping off the air there as one of your hosts here messed things up a little bit. It wasn't Samantha, so I appreciate the guys back in the truck helping me out. But as I mentioned before we went to the break here, it's Rainbow Six time. Ronnie's got the ticket, almost $500,000, $4.25 in the estimated jackpot.
Yeah, and it's a competitive sequence today. You can see that Ron doesn't have any very strong opinions here, and that's okay because it is a tough sequence. In race 6, he's just got 2 of them. The 2 and the 3, which are interesting because I don't have the 3 at all, but Bramble Bay, this is a classy New Jersey bred. The feature today is a good one, and it is race number 8, and he spread, which I'm glad he did because I felt like it was one of those races as well. And in the finale, unfortunately, scratched down quite a bit, but just okay fine in Crimson Princess. The playbook 43-20 here for his Rainbow Six. He's very good at going 5 out of 6 here. We'll see if he can go 6 for 6 today.
As he likes to tell you as well. We'll have Ronnie back on Friday. Looking forward to that. Well, I got some exciting news during the break that the 1, in fact, is not out of this race. It's the 4, 5150. This is a good group here, too. Maiden Special Weight. These are the older runners. 4-year-olds and up will go 7 furlongs on a fast main track. As I mentioned, a long shot scratch of the 4. 5150. Todd Pletcher's got 2. Chad Brown's got 1. And you go to the experienced runner, albeit one we haven't seen in quite some time. Or are you on the first as well?
I'm on the first.
You're on the first. Okay, the outside Yorkshire man for Vinny Viola.
Yes. So this horse, breeding-wise, nothing really jumps out at me here. Son of Nyquist. This horse is working really nicely, though, at Palm Beach Downs, and his workmate is Meteorite, who was second in a maiden special weight at Keeneland last summer, in New York. He's a New York bred. This horse is extremely fit. There's one thing about Todd Pletcher, he won't ever run a short horse, so that's a good thing, and I just kind of felt like, and when we'll talk about unlimited potential while you're against him as well, but I just felt like out of the 2 Pletcher runners, maybe this one has a little bit more upside. Yes. Yeah,
and just talk of your point, when you're debuting on February 21st as a 4-year-old, and I'm going to lump my pick to 1 in on this as well. Okay, there's been issues. That's quite obvious. But also, I kind of feel like it's go time now because we can't afford to just, take our time to get ready here. We got to go now. So I like, where you're at with the 7. It's the same thing I'm doing with the 1, Pourquoi Pas for Chad Brown and Bill Lawrence and company. Same kind of horse like you. Not a lot of pedigree here, really. The Dam was 0 for 2. Couldn't run. This is her first foal. Chad Maidens have turned over a little bit in the last, 2 to 3 weeks? They are running.
They have. And one thing about this horse, there was a work for him last year, so there's nothing you can really – I could just watch the way he moves, and he was a big, heavy sucker, and he's gelded now. So I'm going to presume they did it. That was like an early 2023 work that I saw of him, so I'm going to presume they did it after that because he was just way too heavy. And why do you need a 4-year-old non-starter with intact? There's just no point of it. It just gets in the way at this point. So we'll get a good look at him here today, but he should be a bit more sharp.
Tote board race 2. You want to see the 1. You want to see the 7 taking money. If they're not, it's not a good sign. There's the stablemate of your pick, I would assume, goes favor because his body of work is pretty darn good. The problem is that body of work hasn't been added to since October of 2022.
It's a long time, and we'll show the race from there. And the reason I wanted to show it, although it was so long ago, is he was game in this effort here. It was a long stretch duel between him and Speed Bias. Speed Bias was on the outside. What a ride by Louis Saez on Speed Bias here. Now, this is a horse of Ron Moquette's that admittedly I've never been a huge fan of, and so that's why I kind of knocked this horse down a couple bits because I don't know. Speed Bias, to me, is a horse that's the best we see him run. Now, he was third to O'Connor in the Grade 2 Fayette last year at Keeneland, so that's a good sign, but the bad sign is where have you been for 1 and 2? Speedwise still just is not all that great.
He lost to his stablemate, Expressman. They were coupled at Saratoga.
And that's
in
another
that
one
race.
that's not that great.
No,
anymore.
he's not any good anymore, but he ran a 107 that day.
Yeah.
So, you could, with the replay we just showed you and the debut, 98% of the time, Unlimited Potential will be in a 1X today. So we'll see what we get. I think the other good thing is he catches his two main rivals kind of sort of doing the same thing he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, this is an exciting maiden special weight. Typically, what you're going to see here during the championship meet. Late pick 5 kicks off in race number 5. And we'll go on the Tapeta here in a mile and a 16th. These are for 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 3. The tag is $8,000. We'll take a look at Samantha's late pick 5. Did a golf cart just break down out there?
Something's happening there. They ran out of gas or something. We've got some interesting surroundings right now. Anyway, I'm singling right off the bat here with Swath, Marty Drexler. This is a barn that's been doing well. The rest of the card, the last 4 races, I don't have a very strong opinion as far as singling in on one, but I will say this. In race number 8, the feature today, I'm just completely against Kathleen O.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a strong no for me, and that's probably my strongest opinion. In race 9, unfortunately, it's just scratched down to really nothing now. So the 2 sister Nells I have on top, but I'm not really holding my breath there. $27.
Yeah, you only need 1 horse in race 8. We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
Just
well,
one.
I took 3, but okay.
Yeah, play it for an extra $1 with just the one of them. So let's get into it. My long shot's in here. You're single, and I like it. Okay, that's good entertainment, finally. Swath, Marty Drexler. We're going to show you a stat in a second, but I'll let Samantha talk about Swath first because Marty's got a couple of them in here, correct? And Swath for you.
Yeah, well, Mannix is... Mannix is Mannix. He's just really not anything, to be honest. And Marty Drexler is a great trainer, but Marty Drexler can't run out there on the track and carry him to the first place finish. So Swath looks like the horse to beat here. He's already got the race under his belt. He did the 2 turns last time here. I felt like that was a good just kind of wake up and refresher off the Woodbine layoff. And I'm hoping for just a little switch around today.
Well, Marty's got the 7, Mannix. That's Samantha's 7. Well, let's show the stat because I'm not going to talk about Mannix for a bit, and you're not going to talk about Mannix at all. These are Tapeta routes in the past 30 days. We've kind of told you now Marty's been going good, and this just kind of puts it into perspective. On Tapeta, he's 0 for 5 sprinting, by the way. So it's the routes here. Swath comes down. I like what you're doing here. I mean, we always talk about getting a race here at Gulfstream, and he needed a route, too. He did it, and he did it pretty well. I didn't want to take anybody out of that Swath race.
That's fair.
Yeah. They're all, I don't know, the gang again. They're all here. Swaggish is going to get loose, right?
Yeah.
With Hyro. Amicio, I don't know how far he wants to run. We'll figure it out about 2:10, but he should be controlling it off the claim.
Yeah, he could, and that kind of goes back to, how's the Tapeta playing today, so watch for that as well. Right,
exactly. I think the 1 is going to run. I know it's the barn is winless, and it's Darian Rodriguez is so good. I mean, look at the drill on 211 after the claim. I expect him to hold his form.
Yeah, you think so, but... on the Tapeta, I feel like a lot of horses that are a little bit below average can work fast. And we kind of talked about that with a Racket last week who they bet down, and we couldn't figure out, well, was it from the works? But you said it, and I completely agree. Any horse can work a fast 4 furlong or 3/8 work. It's really what comes after that. So look who he was with. Englehart and then Darian Rodriguez. Those are 2 barns that they get hot, they stay hot, and now, I don't know. Yeah,
it's pretty. If you're not familiar with the Parbu barn, they've won some, you think of Trini Berg and horses like that. They've done good, but on the kind of comeback here. You're looking for a form reversal from our old buddy Hollywood Hellraiser.
We'll see. This is at least a drop-in class.
Yeah. Mannix goes off the claim for Marty, and he's got Irad. He was 80 cents on the dollar last time for Bobby DeBona, so you can play him without us.
Yeah, you can as well. I remember we were at the barn talking about Fly the W, and Bobby was like, "Oh, there's Mannix. Don't know what to do with him." We don't know what to do either. But now Bobby DeBona doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Marty's going to figure that out.
All right, late pick 4 here in race number 6. We are unfortunately off the turf. We'll stay at 1.16 miles. These are fillies and mares that have never won 3 or a dated claimer here. 35 is a tag. Let's take a look at my late pick 4 ticket. And as Samantha said at the start, 2 turf races now on Tapeta with no scratches. Little blanket here for me and a little blanket in the finale as well. I'm using 4 out of 5 of them in the finale. The one I am not using is no Wasabi for me. Let's get into race 6 now. I left everything the same. I think it's a race kind of like the one earlier where there's enough Tapeta form where I don't really feel like we need to bob and weave too much.
Yeah, whenever I was looking at this race, I kind of kept going back to say, Is this a Tapeta race or no, it's the grass? No, it's the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything very creative in it other than I think that Latin Nikita definitely moves up because it does stay on the Tapeta.
Yeah.
It is on the Tapeta.
It is on the Tapeta, and that's a big effort last time, so she's probably not going to be anywhere near the 5 because she's got the good form in there. I think Bramble Bay at the end of the day is just by far the best horse. I don't know what's left though, but we got to see.
Yeah, what a cool mare. I know her well from Monmouth because she took some stakes there, Jersey bred stakes albeit, but I always thought that she was one that was a little better sprinting.
Right.
So we'll read into that. And she's 8. Yeah.
So on Saturday, Love Her Lots, the 7, was in this race not for a tag, scratches, and here
now
she is for 35. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know what to make of it. I picked her that spot on Saturday. Now she's going to run here. Powder Pop and Fernando Abreu. I shouldn't. Not that I'm questioning them because they've done everything right. I just thought it was odd. Thought it was noteworthy. She's going to like the Tapeta, though.
Yeah.
Big move for her.
Yep, she will.
Yeah, she's a major player in here. Race number 7 now. Sprinting, a snappy 5 on the Tapeta. These are 3-year-old fillies. It's a starter optional claimer in here. We've got a field of 9. There's no scratches. You are on the outside with Nikki Jolene, so you can talk about her, and you can talk about Party Pleaser, and you can talk about Special Affair, too, because they all just went at it. Dennis is not shooting us, by the way.
Okay. Nikki Jolene is the only horse I want out of this race here. She did all of the hard work this race and still was able to hang around. I don't like this race as a whole because the winner, the 3-horse Little Minxie, was a maiden winning against Open.
Yeah, and she was a month and a half the best.
And it was much better. But Special Affair did nothing for me. Party Pleaser, even less than nothing. At least Nikki Jolene made an effort.
Well, I'm, kind of taking the baton there. I'm going to go with the Melanie Giddings and Sean Bridgman, who had Little Minxie that day, with Devil at Midnight, who's my best bet of the day.
Wow.
She's run on Tapeta once, and she caught a horse that's going to win graded stakes races.
Yeah, that's
to me.
Yeah, it's a good race.
Yeah, El Torino is the one for Kristoff and Castleton Lions, and she is freaky fast.
Yeah.
So I just think this is a massive class drop. Maybe she gets dirtied up a little bit because she didn't really run at 6-5 last time. I think she's heck to pay in here. On the dot, another one not coming out of the race you just talked about.
Yeah, and first off the claim, too.
For Safi and Ken Ramsey. Race 8 is a really, really good feature. It's a championship meet kind of weekday feature. These are fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, 6.5 on a fast main track. It's an optional claimer in here. You heard Samantha talk about Cathalino, and we're both firmly against her here. Gifaros is coming back for Terry Pompey, a June layoff.
And this horse, she runs well off the layoffs. You look at her patterns and what she's kind of done. She did a similar thing last year, except the race came from Monmouth, and then she came back here to Gulfstream to just completely air out the field. Now, she is 5 years old, so maybe you don't come back as strongly as that, but the race against Society, that whole summer meet at Ellis Park, the rail was so good, and Society is just good in general, a graded stakes winner. So, she just had to be second, I felt like. But Matarea for Brad Cox is a nice horse that she put away.
Sure is, yeah, no doubt about a multiple graded stakes winner right there as well. I think Society Selective will prove to be the best horse out of this whole group, and I think today the fact that I know she rises in class, but she gets the two, we'll call them horses to beat, or two co-favorites, or one of, off a recency edge. She was awesome in her return.
Yeah, well, let's just show it because I think the recency is such a key thing here. The 6.5 is perfect for her. She could even stretch out to 7 and be okay, and she just was so impressive in this victory here. She leveled out well. She looked great coming into the race. She's just kind of shown a new dimension now and looks to just keep on going from here.
She did that off an April layoff there on January 13th. I don't see her getting beat today at all. So here's Kathleen O. Now, we know her so well. Multiple Grade 2 winner right here at Gulfstream Park. She's 3 for 4. Those races were only against 3-year-old fillies. She has not been seen since May. She was a total no-show at 6-5 in the Ruffian.
Yeah.
And I don't think she wants anything to do with 6.5 furlongs.
No, she doesn't. And I'm starting to wonder when is she going to get on the grass, too. She's a filly that's never gotten bigger, never really she's just kind of been the same. And her dam one sprinting on the grass, she looks like a turf filly to me. Maybe we'll get to see that later on from her. Shug's a sharp guy. You start her out now. She gets Lasix for the first time. I don't want to take anything away from her resume, but she's just, you can't play a horse like this today.
She's earned over $500,000. She looks to me, and we see this a lot with fillies, that I don't feel like she's ever gotten any better.
Yeah, she's just plateaued.
Yes, and that's her race. And, at 3, when she was bigger, stronger, tougher, and faster, it worked. It didn't work at 4. I think she's looking up at a couple of these, especially today. We'll see. It's exciting to see her back. Yeah. Hopefully she runs well and then moves forward. But I think if you're ever going to try to beat her, I don't think she's going to be favored today anyway, but this is a great spot to try to beat her. Now, we're off the turf in the finale, and this is the one that unfortunately did get dinged up. We'll go a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. Fillies and mares 4 and up, which have never won 2. The tag is 25. The 4, the 6, the 7, and the 9 are out of this race. I lost my top pick. You've got the 2, Sister Nell, on top. We can bring that replay up, too, because Sister Nell, Crimson Princess, and the outside horse Confer all closed from the clouds in a meltdown race last time.
They did. Confer was trailing so far early. The 9, I want you to see Sister Nell here. She's the 6. She's going to go about 20 wide here. And look at this. That's just she got such a far trip. So did Confer as well. And you see these horses, they all kind of finished about the same. I liked Cardio Princess. You did not that day, I know. This is, you say it melded down. I agree. All these horses, they're kind of about the same, but it felt like Sister Nell, she was very wide. Confer was very wide, but Sister Nell did more running than Confer, I feel like. Yeah,
Cardio Princess was about 10 lengths the best in that race because she was chasing all that wildness. She was really good. On the Tapeta today, some of them have some form. Others, you got to figure it out a little bit. It's why I went much deeper than I would have normally. Sister Nell and Crimson Princess, you just showed. I'm on Crimson Princess. This is going to be a tricky race because, as we just showed, none of those horses have any speed at all.
Yeah, and you get first off the claim, too, for Mike Maker, Mike Dove. This is a good move.
Pink and Yellow will go on. Paco will hopefully put the horse in the race a little bit earlier on. I think the dangerous horse now, especially with the surface switch, is the 1, Fine, because she might see this out as the inside speed, and we're off the claim for Carlos David, and she is a Tapeta horse. So I think that's very helps. I think she's a move-up candidate for sure. Quickly to the lightning round, though, on a really good 9-race Wednesday card, as well as we do each and every Wednesday now. We'll kick it off with the standings, and so I guess each and every Wednesday now for about 3 or 4 weeks, it's Irad to catch, and he's quietly, I don't know if it's quietly, but he scooted away a little bit.
Yeah, he has. Jose Ortiz is...
He's had a good meet.
He has had a very good meet. Paco Lopez has as well. We'll see. Paco Lopez and Jose Ortiz are going to stick around here this weekend. Irad and Louis are gone to Saudi. So maybe this will be a time, let these two, the podium, battle it out.
Yep. Yep, it's going to tighten up a little bit. And these two guys, we're already through the weekend with the picks and stuff like that. Paco and Jose are literally on everything. They have a chance to really, they're going to pick up a lot of ground on IRAD. Not going to catch them, but they're going to make a move here this weekend. The trainer standings. Safi, 19 ahead of Todd. Safi's got the numbers. Todd not as much so anymore. Mark Cassie. Really, really good meet, huh?
Yes, and Brian Lynch as well, because Brian Lynch, we haven't seen his name in a week, 2 weeks. He's run everything, so cool to see him hanging on.
Yeah.
Jose D'Angelo, he's just keeping on as well. He's got a couple Ben Tornado in Saudi.
Oh, that's
That's going to run this weekend, so it's exciting stuff.
Jose's got Run Classic on Saturday.
Cool.
Look out.
Yeah.
That's a good horse running for Jose for the first time. What do you...
Sorry, there's a bug flying around. I didn't think we were going to go back right then. Sorry.
Live TV. Your best bet?
It was supposed to be on the grass, but it's not anymore.
None for you. My best bet is 7-2 in race 7 with Devil at Midnight. Melanie Giddings quietly having a very, very good championship meet in your long shot.
Do you want to talk about the breakfast?
Oh yeah, the breakfast. That's right. I skipped you right out there.
Saturday we're not going to do it. Florida Derby Day.
Right.
But every Saturday until then. So there's not a lot remaining. So come on out.
Yeah, this is exciting. You know the backstretch as well as anybody. You can kind of give people that first hands-on feel of the horses working out, and you're on horseback as well, right?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Now we already talked about best bet. Your long shot, did you have it?
Long shot, yeah. I got one early on, 8-1 for me in race number. What is it? 5? Help? Yeah, there we go. Swaggish down inside. I think we're gonna get loose with Swaggish.
And I've got the 6 in race 2. Take care of business.
Right.
There's a scratch. I don't know if I get 5-1, I'll be lucky.
I need a long shot bad. It's been a struggle.
Good luck.
I appreciate it. All right, that's it. Pete's upstairs. Scratches, changes. Back for the opener shortly. Best of luck today.